All right, everyone. Good morning. It's another episode of Wake Up with Giorgio Says. It's Monday, March 10th. We have sprung forward. Blake Lively and Anna Kendrick hit the press tour at South by Southwest. I don't know why I always feel like I'm going to say it wrong. Anyways, among that, we finally, it feels like it's been 5 years. We got the Real Housewives of Atlanta season 16 premiere last night. Wow. Can I just say wow? Also, I need to clarify some things that were brought up regarding Mia Thornton from Real Housewives of Potomac. And it looks like Tamra has unofficially quit Real Housewives of Orange County mid filming. What is going on? Let's dive into this. Did I say good morning? Yeah.
Wake up with Giorgio Says.
All right. Yes, it is a good morning. We have an extra hour of daylight, so the days will get longer. Thank you, Jesus, because I cannot do the winters where it gets dark at 4:30, you guys. I'm not good with it. Mentally, it just really drains me, and it also makes me tired unnecessarily. Like at 5:30, I'm like, okay, I guess it's time to go to bed now. It's like, what else is there to do? Anyhow, wow, so much to discuss. Listen, I'm going to touch on this Blake and Anna situation at South by Southwest. A lot of you guys over the weekend have been tagging me on TikTok, just different sound bites, and I think I've watched pretty much all of them. And I will say, okay, I understand that everyone's looking at everything through like this microscopic lens right now when it comes to anything Blake Lively's going to do, specifically a red carpet or this press tour or how it's going to be handled. And Anna Kendrick at this point is just like, I'm going to do my job. I'm going to do my job. And like, honestly, like what else is she supposed to do? I don't know if originally this movie was set to just go to streaming originally or this happened like after the fact. I'm not certain on that. I was a fan of the first movie, so naturally I will watch the sequel. Now, I made a post about this being like, let's not watch it just because everyone's pissy at Blake right now. But at the same time, I get why people are like, no, I'm not. At this point, I'm not going to give Blake anything. Sorry, Anna, I'm going to go watch another one of your movies. Totally fair, right? But I am a fan of the original movie. I am interested to see how this plays out in a sequel situation. So, I can separate my opinions on what is happening with regards to Blake and Justin and all of that legal stuff, which by the way, it feels like it's a constant update, which in some situations it is, but some of this other stuff, like, okay, the South by Southwest situation, listen, I get it. There was a few points made. Yes, I can see and agree with some of the opinions, like, for instance, this one guy that's in this black and white checkered shirt that's in a lot of these press clips taking a photo or a selfie with Blake. There's this theory that, he was a paid actor, and a lot of people have, started to speculate this. But then on the other side of it, in terms of being a content creator and covering this as extensively as some of the creators out here are, I think it was last week where, a lot of them were saying that their content, something would go wrong, or it was flagged, or the audio would just cut out. And, are those all coincidental? Perhaps, but also we just found out that Blake hired a CIA alum, Nick Shapiro, who, if the CIA has always been, allegedly known to be kind of the is it the puppeteer that's pulling the strings when it comes to the media, and they're able to really have a big say perhaps on how things are spun in the narratives that are out around things. And so it was just interesting that she didn't just go to a crisis PR firm, which I'm sure there's a plethora of them. She went to one very specific, someone that had clearance in the government, who dealt with high level situations. So that type of expertise to have at this point be brought in, yeah, I can see him probably combing through social media and being like, yep, nope, nope, and mess with that account. Like, I've even seen some of the creators say that on TikTok, they've been kicked out of the creator fund. So they can't even monetize, and there's not even a reason behind it. So, I've had my theories around certain things, and no, there's no way to really prove them. But I do believe if you have enough power, you can twist and bend rules, and that goes for social media, algorithm, your account. Like, at the end of the day, there's a lot of creators out here, covering a multitude of things. But, I think at some point when you get to certain levels, in what I would like to kind of metaphorically say is this is kind of like a game. And once you get to a certain level, or a certain, let's say, celebrity, depending on their power and who they know, like, you could totally get yourself thrown in a mess. And that's where I think it gets kind of hard, because it's like, is it then not, is it not then the creator's right to dig into stuff that can be easily kind of questionable, or kind of ripped apart based on what was put forward? Like, that's not fair. But at the same time, it's clear that there is a secret line in the sand, because when you listen in on the fact that I guess where Blake was in court and her lawyers were fighting to get, more protection orders around some of the text messages, and although she didn't name names, people inferred that clearly they were talking about Taylor Swift. Like, clearly there's things that she doesn't want out there, and she's saying she doesn't want to hurt the brand, because I'm sure Taylor's like, I don't even try it. Like I already said, Taylor is going to distance herself from this until all of it's settled and things have kind of gone away, because she's not going to mess her billion-dollar brand up in image. And also, a lot of people were speculating, like, what else could possibly come out through the discovery if we're going to be doing, that, where we're going to go through the text messages. Like, perhaps people were saying, and this is alleged, obviously, but people were theorizing, like, what if it's something around, like, Taylor and Travis's relationship not really being a real thing, or maybe it's for, like, the industry secrets, or the secrets of, like, the Hollywood standards, basically was the gist of their points. And from what I also heard, they were a bit ass-kissy to the judge, and the judge didn't really understand why they would even ask for these provisions, just simply because they were celebrity, or they have celebrity friends, as it was mentioned. So it's just interesting. But at this event, there was one point where Anna Kendrick was walking down and taking selfies with fans, and one person, I think, said, how was it working with Blake? And then she was like, oh, and then just kept it moving. People read into that. And listen, I think Anna Kendrick is just going to have as much of a sense of humor around this, because let's be honest, this isn't helping anything regarding the movie or the promotion of the movie, unfortunately, because, it ends with us, even though that movie is come out and gone, and we've moved on into the next phase of, like, life. We're still talking about it in reference to what's going on legally. And because that's been so loud, it's pretty much the only thing anyone can talk about. So I think Anna's she's just doing her job. Like, it's just like anything else. Like, something went horribly wrong somewhere else at work, but somehow it's imploded onto your team. But you still got to show up at this corporate event, and you still got to smile. You still got to just, you got to keep moving forward. It's just like anything. And this is no different in my mind. So I don't think she really meant anything by it. And listen, whether or not Anna Kendrick likes working with Blake or likes Blake, I think Anna Kendrick is confident in her own successes, and she does have a lot more under her belt in terms of how many movies she's done and how much those movies have done in comparison to what Blake's done. So I don't think she's looking at this from like, oh no, like she's clearly gotten her check from the movie and she's doing what she's agreed to do from the start, which is promote the movie. And this is where they're promoting it. And listen, there was some funny ones too. Like I think Blake on the carpet with the other actor at a moment where she had to fix her boob and she was like letting him know. And he just kind of was like, yeah, no, I don't care. Like, don't tell me. I don't want to know. Cause it's like, and it was funny. Like, I don't know if that was really what, but it is awkward. It's like, well, it's really weird to have, but again, it's like, well, Blake is also working as well. So what is she supposed to do? Stand on the carpet looking like miserable? Like, no, she's gonna do what Blake does. Like when they're on stage and like it was clear in that moment, I could see like Anna Kendrick was just like, oh my God, because it's just, she gives a lot of word salad, Blake does. And then, you know, the question will be like, so how was it working on the sequel? And she's like, you know, like I just didn't even know where the first one was gonna go. You know, but then when you think about it through the director's point of view, it's just then I understood the character and I didn't like her, but then I did because then at the end I really like enjoyed it. And so that's kind of how I came up with the look. What? Like so, but yeah, it's insane to me that she just won't stop talking. I thought I talked a lot. Like, dear Lord, if you guys listen, I know a lot of you guys will call me out because I can go on rants and then I don't always fully connect my points. It's been a thing. It's a work in progress. But I will say, listening to Blake answer any question is just almost like you don't want. I wouldn't want to be there. Like I would be Anna Kendrick. Like, oh my God, we're gonna be here all night. It's gonna be a 15-minute answer, you know, but no answer because that's exactly what it always is. It's never really an answer to things. Anyways, I'm not reading too much into any of it though. They're promoting a movie. Let's move on with our lives. But before we do, instead of me having to do this, I figured let's do something a little bit more fun. So we'll segue into the next topic after this.
Subscribe to the show. Like this video. Georgia says, comment on this video. Comment. Georgia says, hit that notification bell so you never miss out.
Yes, please. If you are watching this on YouTube, please subscribe, hit the like button, comment down below your thoughts, and hit the notification bell because we're doing the damn thing over here on YouTube. But we didn't forget about you guys, the podcast audio listeners. We love you too. So we're going to move on into our next topic, okay? So Tamra Judge from Real Housewives of Orange County. I don't want to say I don't know where this came from, because I'm kind of stepping back a few feet and looking at everything collectively. As we know, Real Housewives of Orange County is filming, and the ladies were, I believe, just in New Orleans because there was a lot of people, fans and such, who were seeing them out and about. And it seemed as though everyone was being friendly. Now that's not always, you know, we know that doesn't mean anything because we don't know until we get to a dinner or a lunch or whatever, and that's really where shit hits the fan. But nonetheless, it didn't seem like anything was going on really. It just seemed like they were just moving along, like they were filming the new season. Like, but then we see this, you know, Instagram story from Tamra, and it's basically like, you know, I'm done. I'm gonna read it to you guys actually. She wrote, "It was a long run. When life gives you real problems, this reality shit doesn't make sense. Peace out. I'm out." So obviously, and then I saw on another, and I don't recall the account, but they posted about it, and then she doubled down and confirmed because they were like, did she really quit? And she said yes. So I'm not sure if this was in the heat of the moment. Something clearly happened. Now, I have a theory that I believe if you've been following Teddy Mellencamp's situation, then you understand that that has been a tremendous weight, specifically for everyone that's around Teddy right now. Like, it's not just Tamra, but like Tamra and her have grown to be very, very close, almost like sisters, if you really want to be honest. Because I mean, even when you see them together, which I have, okay, they genuinely are they're close, okay? They have a, you know, leading podcast on the charts, constantly bringing in fresh. I mean, there's so many spinoffs to 2T under the 2T's umbrella. So they've built something amazing together. But aside from that, they are friends and sisters. And I think this whole Teddy having to have brain surgery, and thankfully she's out. Like, she was literally just out riding a horse. So like that is exactly the movement forward that I always pray for when it comes to Teddy and this journey that she's on. And I can imagine that, listen, we're all clear that this is a reality show and a lot of the fights are supposed to be petty and that we're supposed to make, you know, something small and something huge and whatever. And I think that whatever happened, think it could be a number of things. It could have just been any type of spat. It doesn't need to be this groundbreaking like gotcha moment and whatnot. Because I'm seeing a lot of people in their theories around like, oh, Gretchen got her, and it's like I don't think that's what any of that is. I think whatever the issue was that pushed her to post that and say that, it clearly, in my opinion, this is my theory. I think she's got a lot emotionally that she's sifting through personally, but also her really good friend and like sister Teddy is also dealing with this heavy journey. So I think, you know, that's why when I look at it and she's like, this reality shit is not real life, it's in the context of it, at least it looks like she's just weighing it out to be like, no, my good girlfriend almost lost her life and had to have a serious surgery on her brain. And you want to come at me about XYZ? Again, I don't know what it was that triggered it, but if that's what it was, that's completely understandable. So that's wild. I don't know if this is for real. If she does, that would be wild, because I would be like, wow. And if that is the reason and it's for her own personal reasons, then I always support that. Put yourself first always. As much as we would not have, in my opinion, we wouldn't have as much of an excellent show without Tamra. And I know a lot of you guys are going to come after me for saying that, but I'm being honest. I'm just saying. But if something more important has taken up more priority in her life and that's what needs to be looked after, the show then probably doesn't fit in there if you're trying to do it the right way. So I'm twofold on this. I hope this isn't true. I hope that maybe it was just a heated situation, and after some time for her to cool off, there can be we can revisit it. So stay tuned. Also, moving on, we need to clarify something. I saw something on, first of all, don't judge, but I'm still on Facebook. I don't post a lot on there on my personal feed, but I am in some like groups that are actually quite great. And one of the groups, which I immediately left, because I'd seen a few of them, and it just like after a while I just get like annoyed. But it was clearly like articles that were just like the ones that Brandy Glanville would kind of like post about, where it would be like something really misleading in the headline, like the worst clickbait and the worst photo, and it's like the most horrific thing that you could allude to. And then you go click on it, and it's like pay for like clicks kind of like posts, which is why you see a lot of has-been celebrity figures do this. No joke. Carrie Hilson does it, or was doing it for a while. I used to see them on Facebook and Instagram all the time. But nonetheless, I saw this post about Mia officially exiting the Real Housewives of Potomac franchise. And I looked at it and I was like, first of all, whenever someone screenshots anything from someone's stories, you need to, at the very least, you need to show that it's from their stories, or you need like something, because this was just cropped. And Here's what it said. It said, this is allegedly what Mia posted, but when you go to her profile, it's not there because she didn't write it. Because if this is true, the headlines would have been around her exit, but there isn't. So, anyways, it says, after much reflection, I have made the difficult decision to step away from the Real Housewives of Potomac. This journey has been one filled with incredible experiences, personal growth, and of course, its fair share of challenges. However, at this time, my focus needs to be on my family and my mental well being. As a mother and a businesswoman, I have always prioritized taking care of those I love. And right now, that means stepping back to ensure that my family and I are in the best possible place. This is not a goodbye forever, just a necessary pause to realign and focus on what truly matters. I am beyond grateful for the support of the fans, my fellow cast members, and everyone who has been a part of this journey. Thank you for allowing me to share my life with you. I look forward to what the future holds and will always be cheering on my Real Housewives of Potomac family. With love and gratitude, Mia. Okay, well, where is it? Where is it? So this is what I mean. Like, this was annoying because people were DMing me this too and saying, oh my gosh, she's officially out. And listen, look, I know that I think that she doesn't deserve to come back for next season, not only because it's clear she produced an entire storyline where she threw her children under the bus, but it's that you left the reunion as soon as you were called to the carpet about said behavior. And I don't think that that's cool. You don't do all that to ensure that you get first seat next to Andy, and then when it gets too hot on your side, now you're the mother that isn't going to allow people to talk about anything regarding your children or you being a mother. When you made the whole storyline, the entire I don't know if Gordon is the dad. We got to do a paternity test, even though I did IVF and whose sperm goes into the egg and then goes into you. Like, what is going on? But this ain't it. She is not officially out. That is a lie. I just wanted to clarify that. And lastly, if you watched Real Housewives of Atlanta premiere last night for season 16, it felt like 3 or 4 years has gone by. And you know what? I'm not mad at it. I have to say, I didn't know what I was going to be in for this season. There are a lot of new ladies, but man, oh man, was I was ready for more. I'm telling you, I think this might be the ticket. Real Housewives of New York. You guys need to take some lessons. You maybe should mix in some OGs. I'm just saying, because I wish I had a dinger. This works. This revamp works. I can just tell, right? There's a few. No, there's just one. There's one in particular. I think it's Angela Oakley. I'm not sure what's going on with her. She just felt like, I don't know. She just felt like, I'm not sure why she has a peach, but maybe it was just the first episode. I do appreciate that it was a longer one. It's very clear that the main arching storyline is Portia, because we opened up with what looked like a Nike ad of Portia working out as we get like an overview of what's happened in regards to her marriage and like filing for divorce from Simon. And by the way, wasn't he just detained by ICE? Anyways, so... But one person I was interested to see that, are they going to leave her in, or are they going to make it seem like she didn't exist? Because we know that they can do that, the editors. Miss Kenya Moore, and yes, she was on last night, but I do feel like they were shading her because the first scene that we see her in, they don't even give her any reference. I think they only give a reference in terms of like a title, like not title, but like where they give you the lower... the sub third, whatever, the lower third thing where they show people's names and stuff. They like gave her one of those at like the end of the episode when they were at Shamia's birthday party. So I guess they're treating her kind of like friend of, but obviously we know at a certain point after the situation involving what she does with to Brit rather, we know that she's kind of phased out. But she did make a post, and it's very true. She was trending on X last night, even though she's basically like, y'all are trying to phase me out. So clearly there was more that went on that we didn't see, but I'm sorry, she's telling the truth. It's gonna be an interesting season. I will say that. And I will be recapping that on a separate episode that will be out hopefully later today. But yeah, so that has been taking up my morning. I want to know what you guys think about all of these topics down below, wherever you're watching or listening. And yes, I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your Monday. And until the next episode, I will talk to you on the next one. Bye.
Wake up with Giorgio Says.